Just so good.
G'day adventurers. I'm here in, I think I'm in Jarrahdale, but it's Serpentine National Park, and I am going to do Stacey's Loop and Gooralong Brook Trail. So Kitty's Gorge Trail is here, but I always start at the other end, but you can get in from this end too. We're going to do Stacey's Loop today, which is only short, but we're gonna add on a bit of the Gooralong Brook Trail and it's called Stacey's Loop and Gooralong Brook Trail on All Trails app. That's it there. So yeah, just over 11 Ks, just over 3 hours. You can always maybe add a little bit extra for my drone flying and all that jazz, but this was very, very last minute. I was sitting at home writing some emails and I was like, I've got a couple of hours to kill, let's go do a hike. So here we are. And look at this. Doesn't get much better. Beautiful day. Slightly overcast, might get a little bit of rain, but anyway, let's go do it. I just want to clarify something. In the recent shelter build video, I called this a Gumby, which it is not. Gumby is the tree that I found on the the Leschenault Peninsula trip. This is a snoddy gobble, as we call it in WA, or a G-bung, which they call it over east. And I said the fruits aren't edible, which is true for the Gumby, but for the, I think it's Pesunia longifolia, which is the snoddy gobble or G-bung, you can eat the fruit. They're only ripe really when they've fallen off the tree. So when they've fallen off the tree and they're still a nice color, you can eat them. So shout out to Michael, who commented on one of our videos and pointed out my mistake, which is upsetting because I naturally know the difference between the two. Of which there are many. They don't even look the same. So anyway, just thought I'd add that in there. So thank you, Michael, if you're watching. Thanks for pointing that out for me so I could rectify my mistake. That would have been a massive tree. Oh yeah, well there it is. Look at that. That's cool. Oh, you can see all the way through. Look at the size of it. It really is awesome how resilient these grass trees are. We've said it before. Grown over, fallen down, basically just growing straight back up. That is awesome. I have just flown the drone, but I've done 1.1 kilometers in 28 minutes. So I better get a move on, eh? So this track is a big figure 8 loop, 11.7 Ks or whatever it said earlier. Big figure 8. We're just going to cross over the brook here, and that'll be where we come back down later. But for now, we cross over here. This is where the loop meets in the middle, the figure 8 meets in the middle, and then we're going to go right on the other side, and then when we come back we'll go left because it goes back to the car. So we're on Stacey's loop previously. Now we've just crossed over through a big open area. I think it used to be an old campgrounds or something, which is kind of like the end of the Kitty's Gorge Trail. So now we are on the Kitty's Gorge Trail, which goes along Gooralong Brook in the Gooralong Conservation Area or something like that. And then we'll cross over the creek again and loop back in a couple of Ks and head back along the waterfall section. So that's pretty cool. Can't wait I've seen it before, but it's always very exciting. Look at the size of that one. What's that? 3 of me? That is absolutely massive. If you go back and have a look at the hike I did in the Green Mountain, these are all the same flowers as what was on the side, and they were all flowering at the time. I'll go and find it. Was it Boyer Quarry and Green Mount Lookout Trail? I think it was. So I'll chuck a link in the description for that. And there's millions of these reedy plants here. I'll see if I can find the name. But yeah, they were flowering when I did that trail, and that might have been like September last year, so I think that's spring. But yeah, absolutely millions of them here. This would be awesome when they're flowering. We're at the bottom of the waterfall now, and when I say we, I mean me, obviously, because I'm here on my own. And it's a little less exciting as to when it's really flowing in winter. I'll see if I can find a photo that I've taken and I'll chuck it up. But if you're not afraid to get your feet wet, there's a little cave you can go have a look in over there. But I don't think we're going to do that today. But look at that. How cool. 20 minutes from town. It really doesn't get much better. I have seen it when it is flowing more, and that's the only way it could get better, right? Anyway, there's a few more little spots with waterfalls on the way down the hill. So we'll stop at them and we'll keep trekking. This does not get old, no matter how many times I come here. So many spots here. You can just come out, sit on a rock. There's a better view for this one, I'm sure, but we'll have to go down creek a little further. It's one of those circle holes just there, like when I jumped in at Berry Reserve. I'll chuck the video up for that one. That was a really cool hike. Looks like it might even be two of them there. So I'm not going to go for a swim today. It's much colder than it was at Berry Reserve day, but definitely want to have a look. All right, so I'm maybe about halfway. So maybe done 5.5-ish Ks. We're past the main attraction now, which is the waterfalls along Gooralong Brook, and still on a bit of the Kitty's Gorge Trail, I should say. We're going to turn around soon and head back, and I think this bit goes, the second half goes kind of through the hills rather than along the creek. So this next bit I will be doing for the first time with you. We have made the turn. We are now facing back to the car. There's cotton bush everywhere. Wish Rob was here to pull it out for me. The cotton bush. Don't be dirty. And frogs croaking everywhere. This is awesome. Beautiful day. Now, everything's nice and wet. We had a little bit of rain. Lovely temperature. It's probably about 18, 19 degrees. Oh, very long, rocky hill. Wow, look at the view. Yep, more uphill. From this point here where we turned around, this all the way up to here is just uphill constantly. If you've watched the Avon Valley four-wheel drive, Avon Valley pack hiking trip with me and Rob, that hill we did and we talked about on the way out, that was probably the hardest hill I've ever hiked. And now it pales in comparison to the one I've just done. That was absolutely the hardest hill I've ever hiked. That was tough. So Rob, you're gonna have to come back here and tell me what you think. But I'll put in the video now. I'll have a look on all trails. It's too hard while I'm out here on the phone. I'll have a look on all trails and actually put on the screen the distance covered and the elevation, because I reckon it might have been 300 meters elevation. This is just a guess, over less than a kilometer of actual distance traveled. That was hectic and brutal. And now we're on something nice and flat, so I can have a bit of a break and catch my breath. I've just seen like 65 million, maybe an exaggeration, of the snotty gobble or G-bung tree. And I can't help, I've seen loads of them today, and I can't help but think of Michael every time I see him. So Michael JF64, if you watch this, chuck another comment into the comment section below this video, and I'll organise a free Patreon subscription, a paid one for you for however long I can do it, a month or something like that, and you can go watch all our footage on there. So I don't know, you might enjoy it, you might not. If I give it to you for free, you can stay, or you can leave at the end of it or whatever. But yeah, Michael JF64, message me on Facebook or Instagram, or comment in this video, and we'll have a chat about it. Anyone else that wants to go see our bloopers or running back to the cameras videos, jump over onto Patreon, same name, get out there and do it. We love the bloopers. There's a full movie length one coming out, which is just episodes 1 through 14 back to back, which is a bit of fun. Anyway, let's carry on with this. Alright, we're back to the middle of the figure 8. The bottom half of the figure 8 is much bigger, but we're back to the midpoint of the figure 8 where it crosses, and we're on the home stretch. Single trail is much nicer than the last 5 kilometers of wide trail. Alright, adventurers, we are just about back at the car now. I can see houses and the car park, so see ya for another adventure here on Get Out There and Do It. Thanks for joining us. Please go check out our socials, Instagram and Facebook, whichever you prefer, for updates on new videos, reels, couple of weekly posts, all sorts of stuff. My opinion sometimes, not very often, don't worry about it. And our podcast on Spotify under the same name, get out there and do it. It's just a couple of mates really talking anything outdoors, generally while we're in the outdoors by a campfire or something like that. But thanks for joining us. I've also filmed the Gooralong Brook Waterfall series. I want to say it's episode 12 or 13, but go find out. But thanks heaps for joining us. It's been another epic adventure, and we'll see you next time. Bye.